Hi there, Weiyan. I'm very happy to see these essays from you. Great job. Let's get right into what you wrote. Okay, the first one is the English and Homestay letter. Let's see what you had to say. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm really excited about my journey to the UK and I cannot wait to meet you. Before we meet, I think it would be appropriate to tell you a bit about myself, and I also have some inquiries regarding the trip to Britain. Lovely so far. My name is Weiyan, and I have just graduated university this year. I major... Okay, you don't major anymore. It's I majored, past tense, because you've graduated. So I majored in English literature, and you should probably capitalize the L as well, which is why I decided to join the English and Homestay program. I want to experience the culture and language so as to help with my studies. Okay. Before setting off on this trip, I would like to know about your country. Since I am really interested in literature, I wonder, here you want, if there are, okay? There's a particular structure that we use with I wonder. So it should be I wonder if, and then it should be sentence form, if there are. And then you don't need a full stop, you don't need a question mark, but instead of full stop, okay? So it should say, I wonder if there are any literature or reading events during the period of my stay. I would like to attend one. If the answer, you know what? Let's change some of this around a little bit so it flows a little better, okay? I wonder if there are any literature or reading events during the period of my stay because I would like to attend one. Then you could say, if yes, or if so, that would be even better, okay? So, if so, is there a particular dress code for such an occasion, okay? So this should say, if so, and then is there a particular dress code for such an occasion? I will have 2 days of free time during my stay, and I'm planning to visit some historical sites in London. Do you have any good suggestions? Lastly, what will the weather be like in this season? I want to make sure I bring the right sort of outfits. I would appreciate your help with my questions. I'm really looking forward to your reply and the journey. Yours sincerely. Okay, fine. Okay, so here's my feedback. First of all, it's very good. You had just a couple of grammar mistakes. They weren't anything too serious. What I want to talk about a little bit here is your tone, your register as we call it, and how formal it is. This is a formal letter. Why? Because you don't know Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You've never met them before. You're going to meet them. Therefore, in my opinion, this letter should be more formal. A lot of people write it in a neutral style, which is what you've done, and it's not entirely wrong. I can understand why somebody would write it in a neutral style. But as I said, because you've never met these people before, you don't know them, and this is your first contact with them, it's my opinion that you should probably be more formal. So, where do I think you're not formal? Let me point out those areas to you. I am really excited about my journey. It sounds a little informal. You could have said, I am greatly looking forward to my journey. Okay? I cannot wait to meet you. Also sounds a little informal. Instead, you could say, I eagerly anticipate meeting you. All right? Also sounds a little more formal. This was fine. This was fine. This was fine. Now, I want to experience. Typically, when we're speaking formally, we avoid want and instead we say would like. Okay? So, I would like to experience the culture and language. So, here you used would like. Now, the other thing that we do in formal letters is we try to avoid direct questions as much as possible. And in this paragraph, you had a lot of them. So rather than saying, is there a particular dress code for such an occasion, you could say, please inform me if there is a dress code, or I would like to know if there is a dress code. Okay, so do you have any good suggestions? Instead, you could say, I would appreciate any good suggestions you may have. All right, so generally that's what we do in these formal letters. We don't want to kind of directly hit somebody over the head with our inquiries, so instead we phrase them in a less direct manner. Okay? However, everything else is very nice, it's very good, it's very appropriate, it's all lovely. All right, just those couple of things. So let's look at your task 2 now. Okay, this is the international marketing one. Remember, you're supposed to discuss both views and give your opinion as well. So let's see what you did with that. Okay, the role of international marketing plays in foreign markets has been under intense scrutiny. Advocates claim that it serves an educational purpose to transmitting. I don't know why you said to transmitting. How about this? Advocates claim that it serves an education purpose to transmit, that's better, ideas and knowledge, while others believe it could be invasive and undermine indigenous cultures. In this essay, I will examine the debate and give my own opinion. Okay, so what did I say before I read it? I said that you're supposed to discuss both views and give your opinion. Now, if you look at the band descriptors for task response, and if you look at the band 7, it says presents a clear position throughout the response. Take a look. They're all over the place online. Band 7, task response says presents a clear position throughout. So what does that mean? Take a look at the word throughout. Throughout means from the beginning to the end. So since you said that you've been struggling getting that 7, I'm wondering if maybe this is one of the reasons why. You don't present your opinion in the introduction, and it clearly asks you for it in the beginning. So it says, discuss both views and give your opinion. In order for your position to be clear throughout, you need to say it in the beginning. So try it. Try including your opinion in your introduction, okay? All right, so moving on. To begin with, global advertising. I am not really a huge fan of the present continuous here. I think it should have been present simple. So instead it should say, to begin with, global advertising often conveys values of a dominant culture, leaving local traditions at risk of being marginalized. For example, by showing glamorous pictures of young people in jeans and t-shirts, a commercial advert gives us the impression that Western style of clothing is fashionable. As a result, young customers may choose to wear such clothing or such clothes with an ES instead of the traditional outfit of his country. In fact, this is happening throughout Asia, Africa, and many other nations around the world. Indigenous culture worldwide, cultures worldwide are increasingly outwitted by Western values because of such commercial promotions. All right, that's actually very nice. I like that. Nevertheless, international marketing sometimes does fulfill educational purposes. With eye-catching visuals and impressive audios, advertisement has been very persuasive and effective in spreading ideas and knowledge. For instance, the WWF's campaign against ivory trafficking, and the purchasing of ivory products has resulted in greater awareness of the issue among Asian policymakers and consumers. Ivory consumption dropped dramatically in recent years. This probably should have been has dropped. Such campaigns are effective in promoting ethical behavior across beyond borders. All right, this is lovely. It's really a very well written paragraph, and I like what you said. I really do. I have one little concern. The essay actually asks you to talk about ideas, culture, and language. You really flushed out this whole thing with the ivory so much that there was no place for any of those other issues that were addressed in the essay. So maybe you could have taken away a little bit of all of this development about the ivory and maybe said something about ideas and culture and language. Because you really just kind of developed this ivory idea, which is an idea, but there's also the element of culture and language, and you didn't touch upon that at all. So that would be my suggestion. Okay. However, there's lots of really, really well-written language, structures, vocabulary, some really nice advanced vocabulary, in fact. So good job with all of that. You've got a lot of great elements to your writing.
I know your exam is next week. However, what I really hope that you'll consider doing in this week before your exam is submitting some more essays for corrections with us. I think that with our guidance, we can definitely get you to that 7 that has been eluding you so far. So take this week to send in more essays for correction. We'd be happy to do them for you. I think your 7 is close at hand. Okay, so good luck to you. Like I said, I look forward to seeing more of your essays. Keep on writing.